IPN Podcast. My name is Joanne Cox.
And I'm Nanette Buchanan. And let's talk about it, Joanne.
Yes.
What's on your mind today?
I'm thinking about what we all need to do, and that's making yourself unique.
Wow. That is different. But I just have one question before we get deep into the topic.
Yes, what's that question?
Don't we all realize that we are unique?
We realize it, but we have been taught to mold ourselves to our twin, our lookalike, what's on television, what's on the front page of a magazine.
Oh, that's true.
This is what you need to do for an interview. This is what you need to do when you're at church. So now, how can you be unique if you're filling all of those roles?
I guess you're right about that. I didn't think about it that way.
And then when you become unique, you can be typecast, you can be ridiculed, and all you're doing is being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we remain unique and true to who we are
When
and
we're-
still be respected to get the things out of life that we are so deserving of?
When we are different. Well, now, in some cases, I would imagine that we do have to conform
Yes.
to some of the things that we know are just that's what we do. You know, for example, you know that if you're at a job, there's a certain mannerism that you're supposed to
Of
have.
course, yes.
You know, we do know that some of those things are not for us to be creative or talent, our unique talent to show up, or we want to do things differently. I could laugh about that because we had a thing where we would tell the recruits that they had to have a certain hair color. And the problem was that there were people that did have hair color that was quite different. We had people that had red hair. We had people that had, but they didn't know how to word it without picking out certain individuals. But they would come with red tint, they would come with blue, they would come with shocking, people wear their hair the way they want to wear their hair.
Yes.
So they would have to, we had to change the word to natural.
Oh, okay.
Whatever your natural hair color was. So sometimes I think that the pointing out of a person or the uniqueness of a person that doesn't conform doesn't meet the expectations or the rules or regulations of the standard. And sometimes it's not them that needs to change, it's the rule that either needs to be said differently or accepting differently.
Yes.
Because when they first came out with it, we were like, well, you can't say that because there are people that have blonde hair.
Yes.
And you're telling them that they can't have blonde hair. Well, no, they can't have it if their hair is not blonde. But you can't say you can't have blonde hair.
Point taken.
We have to conform a little bit, but they have to change a little bit too.
Yes.
The structure,
And to just sum that up, you said it so in such a gracious way because the whole word was natural, your natural hair. And that took all the stigma out of someone saying, oh, I've got red hair, what am I going to do? And understanding that yes, we do
Accept
need
that.
to accept
Yes.
that. And the way we act or our personalities and behaviors for a job, we need to be able to accept those things. So we have to draw the line now as in what is your uniqueness?
Yes. Yes.
And the positive part of being unique.
And not only that, is there a need to compare? Do we really need to make comparisons about what someone does? I think what always amazes me is the handicap.
Oh, yeah.
How handicapped people are able to overcome some of the things that they're limited to do and find other ways.
Yes.
And we're always told, not to mock, not to create a big stink about the fact that they're, maybe they're in a wheelchair or maybe they have disabilities or whatever, and they're able to overcome them right away.
Exactly.
They're able to do what they need to do. But that's their uniqueness.
It is.
Some of that, it may have been an accident, but the uniqueness in it is they're able to overcome that.
Exactly.
They don't look at it as something that's odd. That's what I think the problem is, that a lot of times we mistake being unique for being odd.
Yes.
And it's not odd.
Yes.
It's not strange to be unique because we're all unique.
And in saying that, when you pointed out some of the handicaps, we all have handicaps.
We all have them.
And the great part about a handicap, it makes us have a tendency to work harder in that area. And when there's something that you don't do well, or something that your physical disability is keeping you from measuring up on what we call average, that is when you kick in and do even more. As they say with a blind person, the senses are now keen.
Exactly.
And their smelling and hearing is
over
so much
the
sharper.
top. Yes.
And so when we recognize what that ability is that we have or don't have, that's our uniqueness, we should treasure it. And make sure that we're wanting to develop in a way that we stand out. And just be ourselves.
And embrace.
That's the word.
Embrace it. Embrace who you are. Embrace where your differences are. My differences may very well be something that's totally, odd to someone else, but it's not odd to me. And I know you and I have that likeness because we're both left-handed.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but I remember when I was small, everyone wanted me to no, put it in your right hand. No, you don't want to do it that way. Put it in your. And I used to look at, this is the way I write. This is what I do. And I had a nun I went to a Catholic grammar school, and you know how they tell you to turn your paper toward the window. And it seemed like the window was always the opposite way that I needed my paper to be turned. And she came by my desk and she tapped me on the shoulder and she said, turn your paper the other way. You are unique.
Yes. And
that just gave me the most uplifting because, in Catholic school, everybody's doing the same thing the same way. So I was unique. I could turn my paper. It didn't dawn on me until well into my senior years in school that she must have been left-handed. She had to be, because all my teachers prior to her had never said anything about me trying to cramp and turn the paper the other way.
And there's a possibility that she was just connected to someone so she could
identify the uniqueness.
Yeah.
And isn't that what we do when we see the artists and we see musicians and we see people that sing and we see people that play sports, people that are able to do magical problems and teachers and different people that have that level of uniqueness.
Yes.
We connect.
We connect
with them. And we understand that there's something different about them, but we embrace the difference.
And what I would like to bring up is that when you're in school, whether it's middle school, high school, college, or whatever, we usually stand out in one area of a subject. We've got these people that are just brilliant at math. And all of it is up here, and they can just calculate and pull things together and become mathematical engineers. Then we've got people that are so great in the area of English. That's what we called it in school. Whether it was literature or writing or what have you. If you were not that A student in the area of writing versus the person in math, there was no reason to be sad.
And no reason to compare. Where's the comparison?
Yes.
There's no need to compare.
So what
I am astute in may not be what you are. You may not even be able to catch on to it. I would love to have the talent or the uniqueness to be an artist. I would love to draw. I've always loved it. But I can't make a circle that won't look like it's an egg or a pear, or it doesn't even fit because I don't have that talent.
But see, if you try to push yourself to say, I want to draw, I want to be an artist in that way, you would be taken away from your creativity of
in
writing.
Another way. In another way.
And so we have to understand that
each has their own.
Whatever that gift is, and whatever you are unique at, what you're wanting to do is just take it and run with it and develop it, because now everyone will see what you're great at, and you will be admired and acknowledged for the work that you do in that field.
And you're born with that uniqueness. It's not something that you always develop. It doesn't have to be that you studied that art or you studied the mastery of being a musician. Some of it we're born with. Because some of us are unique because of our looks. We have a unique look about us.
Yes.
Beauty. The fashion, as you mentioned earlier, being on that fashion cover magazine. There are some people that are just stunning with the way that their appearance is. But that again comes back to the comparisons. Well, who are you comparing them to?
Exactly.
Who are you looking at?
What do you call beauty?
What do you call beauty? The thing about it is that there are some that you just look at and go, oh my goodness, the beauty. You can see the beauty. You understand the beauty. There's beauty in nature.
Yes,
we can see just the beauty in some of the pictures that we've seen. I can remember the first time I saw a white lion. And I just was in awe.
Yes.
That, oh my
the
goodness.
uniqueness of it.
This is a unique being, and why compare it to any other lion when it's just unique? It's just different, and
Great example.
it would be perfect if we could look at each other in that way and just be accepting that this is their natural appearance. This is who they are naturally. This is where they excel naturally. Uniqueness is not odd.
And what I want to bring to everyone's attention before we end this episode is because of the fact that you are unique. When you see someone that is unique, as Nanette teacher pointed out, how she could hold her paper, if you see that, you embrace that person because that is the beginning of us accepting other people's uniqueness. It can be hair, skin color, our vocal range. But when you put it on the table, now you have started something that let other people know it's okay.
It's okay. It's not odd. It's not odd. And my point for today is our journey in life is to discover who we are and why we are unique. And in discovering our light, sharing it with others, that becomes our reward.
Very well said.
We'd like to thank you for joining in to this week's podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that button for notification. We'd like to spread the word to anyone who's willing to listen because it's always encouraging. From Joanne Cox and Nanette Buchanan, have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Ruan